I want to prove a little theorem that turns out to be very, very useful. It's again in a circle. So let's have a circle. And we're going to draw a chord. We know what a chord is. A line between 2 points on the circumference. So we'll call the points A and B. And then we'll find the center, roughly, and we'll call that O. And we will do what we did for our isosceles triangles. In the previous video, we'll just, not a very straight line, is it? We'll draw the two radii that go from the ends of the chord to the center. Now, what I want to do this time is a little bit different. I'm going to take a line from A all the way across to the far side. It's not a diameter because it doesn't go through O, but it's going to go all the way over to the other side. And then I'm going to do the same thing with B and join it to the same point. And we might as well give that a name, so we will call it C. Now, one of the most remarkable things about this result that we're going to look at is this, that this angle here is always the same for a chord AB, and it's always exactly half this angle. So if we call this angle, well, we might as well call it angle little c, the angle at the center here will always be 2c, twice as big. And that remains true wherever we draw C, provided it's on the same side of the chord AB. So for example, if we put another one in over here, blue angle, this angle here, this angle here is also C, the same. And if we draw another angle over here, oops, I should be doing it with straight lines, it makes it so much better. We have a red angle over here, then this angle too, this angle in here, is the same, it's angle C. And they are all half the angle at the center. Now, just because we're doing this, I'll tell you a funny word. When we have an angle that is created by a chord AB on the circumference, whether it be, let's say, at D, or at E, or at C, we call it the angle and this is a word you probably never heard before, subtended on the circumference by chord AB. And provided AB is the same, whether it's in the same place or the same length, these angles will always be the same. If you change the length of AB, you'll get different angles, but on a particular chord, they'll always be the same. And we can see if we can prove this simple little theorem. Now, how can we prove this? Well, we're going to do what we did once before. we're going to do a construction. We're going to add a line, and we're going to add a line that goes from C through the middle of the circle, like that. And then we're going to do something really simple, but it proves the theorem. First of all, do you see that in this triangle we've got the same arrangement that we had before when we had an exterior angle? And so we actually know in this triangle that this angle here is equal to this angle plus this angle. I should really mark it with 3 lines, because and if we look at this triangle here, and we mark something in blue, this angle is the exterior angle, and this is going to be this plus this. But we know, don't we, because we know that these green and blue triangles are both, what was the name? They are both isosceles. And so this angle and this angle, they are the same. Zachary's making his contribution because he doesn't like hearing me talk. He doesn't know who I'm talking to. So these angles are the same. So if this angle here is equal to those two together, it must also be equal to twice one of them. And similarly here, if these two are the same, this one and this one are the same, because this is isosceles, then the blue angle here must be equal to the sum of those, and therefore this also is twice that one. But can you see what we've done? We've now shown that this angle all together, both of them together, is twice this angle. And so we've proved the theorem, which is that the angle at the center is twice the angle subtended at the circumference by the chord AB. Now, we're in a position to show something that's really important, and it's something that actually was the basis for all the work that the ancient world did that allowed it to build buildings, navigate the seas, and measure the position of the stars. And what we want to do is to look at the special case where the chord is a diameter. Because we know, don't we, that if we were to take a chord down here and join it to the center, we'd get an isosceles triangle, and this would be the angle we'd be interested in. So if we take the line and we make it longer and longer and longer until eventually the chord that we've drawn comes all the way up and is a diameter, then we know something about this angle. we know that when we have a diameter, the angle here, we did this in the very first video, is 180 degrees because it's half the full 360 degrees of the full circle. But if we know the theorem that we just proved, we know that the angle here is half this. And so we know something really amazing, which is that this is always 90 degrees. So if we draw a triangle on a diameter, the diameter is the hypotenuse, the long side of the right angle triangle, we get a right angle. And believe it or not, the ancients were able to calculate the length of the chord and using the length of the chord they were able to create navigation tables that allowed people to sail all over the world. But that is another story.